everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And today on Friday Premiere, we're doing a special by request from Kim, to talk about cataloging and knowing what we have. Now this is different from organizing, although they can work together. But how many times have you purchased something, taken it home, or gotten it in the mail in an order, went to put it away and realized you already have one or three? It happens to all of us. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about a way that we might be able to eliminate that boo-boo most of the time. So I want to start with one because I already have it up on my big iPad. We're going to talk about Tim Holtz. And so many of us have collected Tim Holtz for years. Now, Tim Holtz used to have an app for iOS where you could go in and you could keep track of everything that you had, all the products from him that you had. But they could not get that to transfer to Android. So they got rid of the iOS and they put everything on the new website. And when you log in, and you go to products, if you don't have an account with Tim Holtz's website, you're going to need to set one up. And it will prompt you for that if you go to products and then click inventory. And now I'm already logged in, but it will tell you that you need to log in or to create an account, prompt you if you forgot your password, that kind of thing. But then you're going to need to do that. So the neat thing is you can go to wish list. So let's go back to products, and then you can pick. Let me pull one here really quick. What have I got handy here? I've got Distress Refresh. So that is going to be a Ranger product. So I would go to Ranger, and I could type in Distress Relief. So as I spell it correctly. My keyboard. They don't have it listed. So, oh, refresher, that's why. Because I've got the wrong product. Refresher. There we go. Helps if you put in the right product. See, and then I can either check that I have it, or I can add it to my wish list. Either one. And then when I go back to my inventory, it'll show my Ranger ink, and it should show me, oh, I'm not under inventory, that's why. My inventory, and it should go to the fact that I have the Distress Refresh, and I don't see it on here either. But I haven't played with this much. We go to wish list. My wish list is Ranger ink. Ah, there we go. Wish list. Go to show. And there's my, it'll show distress mediums, and there's my Distress Refresher under my wish list, because I clicked it with a heart. Now if I go back to inventory, I should be able to do the same thing. As soon as my wants to open up, there we go. Show. Come on, you can do it. My iPad wants to be picky with me tonight. But it should do, there we go. Distress mediums. Show. I don't know if the site's slow or if it's my iPad. And there's my Distress Refresher because I clicked the check and gave it a green check mark. It shows up in my inventory that I own that. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can just keep track of all this at home, but if you do things on your phone, you can, while you're out shopping, you can access the website from your phone and go in and do it that way while you're out shopping. Do I have his new, what is the new brown? Do I have that one? Go in and check. Go to products, and that's going to be a Ranger. And let's say, what's the, I don't don't have hardly any of his over here. Let's say I have this one. I'm out and I'm like, do I have picked raspberry? So I can check and see if I have picked raspberry. Picked, not pucked. I am horrible. I have fat fingers. I think I have Tim's pork chop fingers. And it would help if I spelled raspberry correctly. Raspberry. There we go. And there's all the picked raspberry. And I see that I have the spray stains, so I can look through here. Raspberry reinker, raspberry paint, raspberry oxide spray, raspberry picked spray stain. Click my little check mark, and then when I go into my inventory, it will show that I own picked raspberry, and so I know I don't need to buy that one. I would do the same thing for all of the products. I have not gone in and cataloged these yet. They are on my to-do list. So that is one way you can inventory all of your Tim Holtz stuff, okay? Now, there used to be an app that I have on my phone, and I could not find it on the App Store anymore. It's called Craft Drawer. And I looked through app and I couldn't find it. But it's a way for me to catalog my ribbons, my paints, anything that I would buy, so when I'm out and about I can just look. Now, another alternative for you is if you have an iOS, and I don't know if you can do this on Android, I'm not that up on that yet, but you could, if you wanted to put everything in Google Docs, do you a spreadsheet in Google Docs, or do you file folders, all of my paints, all of my inks, all of my paper pads, and do those all in a Google spreadsheet, and then when you're out, open up your Google spreadsheet on your phone, and you can go that way. Now, my sister Donna, many of you from Maddie's know Donna, she has gone through every single invoice she has ever received from Maddie, and she has entered that into a spreadsheet. Spreadsheets is what she used to do for Sam's Club. So, you know, she's got that whole tech thing down. So she has all of hers on a spreadsheet on the computer, and she can go in and bring that up, and she can put a search for Ciao Bella, and it will bring in all of her Ciao Bella products, and she can look and see if she has whatever item Maddie is showing, which is really cool. I'm not into a spreadsheet thing, so I do everything by hand. So let's start with when we go out and about. I have this notebook that I keep in my purse where I've listed all my current ink colors, my Viva stamp paints that I have, and I've not updated this because I don't shop out a lot anymore, all my distress ink pads, my distress paints, and I've added since then, so I need to put those back into the Tim Holtz app. So we have those. This is my to-go. Now, if you want to mark everything down by hand, it doesn't take a very big notebook to do that. Well, you know, depending on how much you have. But you could list all of your paints on one page. You could list all of your inks on one page. You could list all of your marker colors on one page. And keep something as small as a mini composition book in your purse. Or in your car, so you know you've got it when you go out and about. So that's an option. Now, where do I want to go from here? While we're talking Maddie, let's go to my Maddie book, okay? And I haven't completely filled this in yet. I've done some things in preparation for this video. I want to go through and finish filling it out. But what I've done is I've left a couple of pages for an index. I have a couple of pages for everything that's 49 a market, American Crafts, Authentique, Blue Fern, Cart Bella, Bow Bunnies, Ciao Bella, and I've done this all the way through. And then when I got back here to the back, I have accessories such as my Honky Dory car kits, my British scrap, my ITD rice papers. And so I have all of these. So when I'm shopping on a Saturday, if she says, you know, are you ready for some German scrap? I can pull this open, go to my German scrap, and I can see which ones that I have. So this is how I keep track of what I bought from Maddie. I just need to finish filling it out. I gave myself an index, so I'm like, okay, then I need to go to page 15 or whatever to get to Cartbella, you know. And I've allowed myself a couple of pages for each one. Now, 40 or graphic 45, I allowed, I think, 3 or 4 pages because I wanted to have room for individual items, accessories such as, you know, their claw feet and their roses and that kind of thing, their dies, as well as their complete kits that I own. So I have that. So when I'm shopping on Saturdays, this will be my Maddie book. Instead of running in here to my shelf and flipping through to see what I have, all I'll have to do is keep this by me on sale day, and I have it ready to go. So that's my Maddie book. Okay. Now, I want to show you a picture. This is all of my paper pads. These are not Stampin' Up. I'm going to talk about those in a minute. These are all actual paper pads. You know, the slabs that you buy in like Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever. Hot buy pads, die cuts with a view, that sort of thing. This section over here is all Christmas. Well, most of those Christmas pads. I've got a fall, a Halloween, and a Valentine. But otherwise, everything over here is Christmas paper pads or my die cuts with a view cardstocks. And then these, from here to here, there are 32 paper pads. These I still have to catalog, and here's how I'm cataloging them. Let me see, where's the one I did? I will tell you that when you're cataloging stuff, if you want hard copies, these brag books are your best friend, okay? They're easy to put stuff in. They're easy to keep track of, and I'm going to show you a trick that I'm going to do here in just a minute. But here is those first Christmas pads, and what I did was I took a photo of them. Now, if I hadn't been able to find my regular camera with my memory card, I could have done these on my photo printer, but I couldn't do that. So I took them on my phone, uploaded them to my computer, and I transferred them over to a Word doc file and just printed them out. I lost less cardstock that way. And then they're all numbered, and they coordinate with the sticker number on the spine of the paper keeper. And if you don't know, I'm going to see, I know I had an empty one here because I just had it today. I was going to pull out an empty one. But all my paper kits are in these paper keepers from Hobby Lobby. I have one for every paper slab, including my calendar collection from Authentique. And then on the spine, I have put the coordinating number with this picture. So, the idea is, if I want to know what kind of papers I have down there, bending over and flipping through each one of those is a royal pain. But, to see if I've got something I might want to work with, I just have to pull this up and I can flip through like this. Because the neat thing about paper pads is they show you a sample of all the papers on the cover, or for the most part. And even like if I don't see them all here, I can get an idea of what's in there if that's the style of paper that I want to use. And I keep this up here on my shelf behind my filming table. Now here's the thing. I have those other 32 pads that are not going to fit in here. So I pull the second one, and I've already numbered the pages, 1 to 32, and when I get those photocopied and transferred over, they will go in here. But instead of having 2 separate books, I'm going to take the guts out of this Reader's Digest, and they will fit in the guts. And I'm going to set them up Traveler's Notebook style, so that I can come in here, and I'm going to pull this out. If you're not familiar, most everybody I think is familiar with Traveler's Notebook, but just in case you are not, Traveler's Notebook has this ability where you can slide books in to a cover. And what I would do is find my center, and I would slide this in, and then I would find my center, and I would slide this in, And then I will have all of those paper pads from this shelf in here where I can flip through and see what the covers look like. And if I know I want to pull out Christmas number 5, because I want to work with some of these pastel colors, I just have to look down on the shelf, pull out the paper pack that has the number 5 on it, and I don't have to bend over and flip through all of those to find the one that I want. I just have to reach down and pull number 5. So that is how I am doing those. Now, when it comes to Stampin' Up! Paper, I got these all done last year. I cataloged 150 different paper packs from Stampin' Up! Now, they do not come on a pad. They're all loose, and they are reversible. They are two-sided. That's the other thing. Most of those paper packs are single-sided. So, I can do them with just the cover photo. But with Stampin' Up! With them being two-sided and wanting to know what was in each side, I have pattern paper, geometric shapes, I have holiday DSP, I have Garden and Nature Designer Series paper, and I have the general catalog. And I pulled the holiday one to show you what I do. And I will link the process video for this down below. But what I do is I take and I use baseball card sleeves, and I cut each strip into 3 inches. No, 2 by 4, I think. And I cut them in half so I can show this is the reverse of this paper. This is the reverse of this paper. And I can flip through and I can say, okay, I want to work on Valentine's. So what kind of Valentine paper packs do I have up there from Stampin' Up? And not only do I have it to where I can show, let me pull one out because it'll be easier. Not only can I show and see what the paper is in there, but I've also gone through and cut out the colors of the coordinating cardstock colors that go with that paper pad. So I don't even have to think about what color cardstock do I need for this. I can look at this and it will tell me exactly what colors of cardstock I'm going to be working with. And I have all of this in here by category. So holidays, I have Valentine, and then I have winter, and then I have fall, and summer, and then I have fall, and then I have Halloween. And I can look at these and I can see exactly what papers I have to work with in my Christmas. And I can see the papers that I want to work with and the colors of cardstocks that are going to coordinate with this. And that is how I have all 150 pads of paper from Stampin' Up! Cataloged. Now, I would not be able to remember the names of all 150 of those paper pads. I mean, I know the names, I can look through and I can see, okay. And I have them divided on the shelf against general stuff and then divided into the individual holidays. And I'm pointing like you can see me. So it makes me quicker to grab, but I still don't know what all the papers are in that paper pack. And that's what I needed to know. What are the papers that I have in that paper pack? Okay. Another thing I do is I keep a sample of all of my paint chip colors on a humongous ring. Now, these are all the HGTV color palette from one year. I got discarded. I got it in a huge box, and I'm talking, it was probably 2 feet cubed, full of paint chips, and I took them to the hotel on a sister weekend and divided them between myself and Donna, and then I pulled one of each color and put it on a ring. So I know what color I want, and I have them filed in a drawer, a sample of each color filed in a drawer alphabetically, so that I know if I want Black Magic, I know I need to look behind B, not flip through all of them till I come across Black Magic. Same with peppercorn. I can just go to the peas and look in just the peas, and it makes it easier for me to find them. But this lets me keep all of them in a small space, handy for me to do that. Okay, I think I've about covered that. And we're at the 19-minute mark. I'm going to step over here for just a minute and grab something else to show you. I was going to talk just paper tonight and the Tim Holtz stuff, but we've got a couple of minutes, so let me show you something else. These are just a couple of my sample rings. This one is embossing folders, and I need to update this, and I'm not sure I'm going to keep them on the ring. I think they're going to become in a narrow box that I just flip through. But this lets me see at a glance not only the size, but how well it embosses as to what I want to use. So all of my embossing folders are going to continue to go on these tabs, but as you can tell, they're not all going to fit on this ring. These almost don't fit. So I'm going to turn these into a flipping system, and that's another thing to consider. How do you search for stuff? Ruffle through a box, which is fine if that's your style. I see you guys ruffling through containers looking for stuff, and that would drive me insane. Doing this with my scrap pieces of ribbon is the closest I've come to not flipping through things. But that's me, that's my style. So if you would rather take and put these, say, in another one of those brag books and have a brag book just for your embossing folders, and that would work too, and that may even be something I consider, because those brag books from Dollar Tree take up so little room, and you could, you know, line them up on a shelf or stick them in a box under your bench or whatever, that you can keep everything cataloged in one small place, and that's a really good idea. The other thing I do, these are, this started out as all of my Sizzix dies, my pinwheel, my buttons, and I started doing this by just photocopying the front and doing these on a ring, and again, these may be better off in a larger brag book, maybe in a 5x7 photo album. So, or I could shrink them down to 4x6 and they would fit in there, and I could do that as well. And this will let me keep all my dies in a position so that I can keep track of them. So the idea is, have a visual. Are you going to look at a list of everything written down and know what that is? Or are you going to be better off with a visual? I'm a visual person. So having a hard copy of something I can look at and say, okay, I have that die. Okay, I don't need to order another window die. They're not identical, but this one will work for me. So I don't need to order another die just because it's by a different company. Another window die because it's by another company. I can do this, and I can see what I have, and whether I need to order anything else. No, I don't have one like that, so I can go ahead and order that one, and that will work for me. The idea when cataloging things is to think about how you will best look for something. You can open up a notebook and flip through and see a written list, fine. If you can open up a spreadsheet or a Google Doc and go by a name, that's fine. If you prefer to be a visual person like I am, make hard copies of things like your embossing folders, or pictures of your paper pads, and put them in a spot where you can look through them quick and see what you have. Because, you know, the sales on Maddie's run quick. So if you're not on the ball, you're going to miss out. And you don't want to order a duplicate of something you already have just because you don't want to take time to go dig through what you have. You want to just be able to open up your book and say, okay, I bought that for Maddie. I already have it. I don't need that. Or I have that paper pad, but I don't have the embellishments that go with it, or that kind of thing. So most of my viewers, I think, shop at Maddie's at Spectrum Art Creations. So you kind of know where I'm at with this. So that's going to be it for me today. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. I have not gotten to stamps and dies yet. That's going to be a whole nother video. Today I wanted to talk mostly about the paper and how to know what I have. The thing is, don't just throw everything in a box and expect to find it. Case in point, when I was getting the Maddie book set up today. I wanted to go through and fill in some things while I had them out. So I looked at, I remember where I was at with rice papers. It was a Stampin rice paper. We have a tea challenge going on in the Facebook group right now. Look what I found in my rice paper folder. I have something I can use now that I hadn't thought of. I had other things going in my mind that I would use for the tea challenge with Maddie in our Facebook group, but I had totally forgotten I had this rice paper. So get out your papers and put them in a logical order that you will be able to find things when you need to know if it's something you have. And if you have a lot of Tim Holtz, go ahead and set up an account on his website and start marking your purchases. And then go through and mark your wish list for products you don't have. Because when Maddie brings out Tim Holtz stuff, all you have to do is go in and pull up your wish list and see if it's something on your wish list. And then you'll know whether you need it or not. Because, you know, Maddie's always bringing us Timmy. So, there you go. That's it for me today. I hope I've answered some of your questions, Kim. And like I said, if you have any others, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to try and answer them. I will see you tomorrow. And, no, I won't. I'm sorry. It will be Sunday, because I'm in class all day tomorrow. But look what came in the mail today. I have a Spectrum box. So I am going to be doing Saks Sunday this week, since I'm in class all day Saturday. And be watching. Make sure you've clicked the bell for notifications, because now that I have unlimited data on my phone, I just might pop in and see how we do live. So be watching. Pay attention, and I'll let you know in the Facebook group, in Maddie's Facebook group, and in my Facebook group, if I'm going to go live. If you're not in my Facebook group or in Spectrum Art Creations, links are in the description box below. And I will see you here on Sunday. Creative blessings.